Welcome to part 2 of solving systems of equations in two variables. In this video, we're going to be working on solving equations using the substitution method. So here are some steps to solving systems of equations in two variables using the substitution method. Usually one of the equations is solved for one of the variables. That's generally when we use the substitution method. Now, if not, just solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Step 2, substitute the expression you obtained in step 1 for this variable in the other equation. You now have one equation in just one variable. So solve this equation to find the value for the variable. Then substitute in step 4, substitute this value for the variable into one of the equations, either the original or the one you just solved to obtain the value for the other variable. Once you get the values for the two variables, check the solution in each original equation to verify that your results are correct. So let's say we have these two equations. So here's equation 1, here's equation 2. Equation 1 is already solved for the variable y. So what I'm going to do is, everywhere in equation 2 I see y, I'm going to substitute what y equals, 4 plus x. So in equation 2, in for y, I'm going to put 4 plus x. See how it replaced y? And now I have an equation that just has one variable, so I'm going to solve for x, the remaining variable. So I have x equal 4. Once I have x equal 4, I'm going to put it in one of the original equations to solve for y. And it makes most sense to put it in this one because this one's already solved for y, so I just have to put the value in for x. So here's step 1. One of the equations is solved for one of the variables. I substituted that in, so this is step 2. And I've solved, now in step 3 I solved for the x. Now I'm going to substitute it into one of the original equations to solve for the other variable. And in this case, since I solved for the variable x and it equals 4, I'm going to solve for y. So using equation 1, I'm going to put in the value for x that I just got. So I'd say y equal 4 plus 4, so y equal 8. And that's the solution to my equation. And I can do a check. So here in coordinate pair, I can check. Here's my check. I'm going to put in 4 and 8 into the original equations. So looking at equation 1, in for y, I'm going to put 8. Does that in fact equal 4 plus x? And sure enough, 8 equals 8. It works for equation 1, but we have to make sure it works for equation 2 also, just to make sure we did this right. So I put in my x, which is 4, plus y, which is 8. Does that in fact equal 12? It sure does. Therefore, I know. Now I've checked and I've made sure that this was the solution to the original equation. So let's look at this problem. So in step 1, I've got to solve one of these equations for one of the variables. So I look which one's the easiest. And I think solving this one for y would be the easiest. So I'm going to keep equation 1 just like it is, 5x plus 3y equal 19. I'm going to solve equation 2 for y. So I would take my 2x minus y. I'd subtract 2x from both sides. And I'd have negative y equal negative 2x plus 12. And to make sure that that's positive, I'm going to put multiply both sides by negative 1 or divide by negative 1. So if I said negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, I'd say y equal 2x minus 12. So this is my new equation So the new equation 2 would be y equal 2x minus 12. So in step 2, I'm going to put this new from equation 2, how I solve for y, I'm going to put that y into equation 1. So 5 times x plus 3 times y. But my y equals 2x minus 12. I have an equation that's in just one variable. So I distribute 3 into here. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times minus 12 is minus 36. And now I solve for x. So when I have 11x equal 55, divide by 11, I get x equal to 5. Now it's time to do, and this is, as I did this is our step 3. So step 4 is now put that value into one of the original equations. So I'm going to put this value into equation 2. So I'm going to say 2x y equal 12. So I'm going to put in for x the 5. Subtract 10 from both sides. So y equal negative 2. And now step 5, make sure that I've done this correctly. I'm going to put my solution, which is 5 minus 2, into both original equations. So 5 times 5 plus 3 times minus 2. Does that in fact equal 19? 25 minus 6. So over here, 25 minus 6. Sure enough, 19 equals 19. Then I go, so this was equation 1. Now I go into equation 2. It says 2 times x minus my y is supposed to equal 12. Well, 10 plus 2, 10 plus 2, sure enough, 12 equals 12. This I've now checked and made sure that I have the right solution. So this is how we work with substitution, solving a system of 2 equations to unknowns using the substitution method. Thanks for watching.